I think this is the most important part of training, is your running shoes. I'm gonna do 3 sections for the shoes. I'm gonna do like my high mileage shoes. Then we're gonna have like just general daily shoes. And then we have my fast shoes. Those are pretty self-explanatory. So first off, with the high mileage shoes, I'm gonna go from my least favorite to my most favorite. So starting off with my least favorite, we got the Nike Invincible 3. It's a good shoe, don't get me wrong. It's a great shoe. It's just too soft for me. This shoe I have a little over 200 miles in. I've had it for just about a year, maybe a little over a year. I'm using this right now for some random runs, just every now and then, just to keep it in the rotation. If it's rainy outside and I want to use it over the next shoe that I'm about to show you, I'll use this. Or like cross training, so if I'm the elliptical, I'm using this. I think this is a great elliptical shoe. It's very bouncy, but it's just too soft for me. And there's a high drop, so there's not a lot of foam in the forefoot, which I love my foam in the forefoot. Upper's great, you gotta do the runner's knot. Other than that, great shoe. Very durable. My next shoe for high mileage is gonna be the Under Armour Infinite Pro, or Infinity Pro. I think it's Infinite Pro. I don't know why they name their shoes the way they do. But anyways, I've got a little over 80 miles in this shoe. I don't use it very often, just because of what my next pick is gonna be. But I think it's a great shoe. I use it in the rain, so over the Invincibles. I like this better than the Invincibles, but sometimes I'll just use the Invincibles. I think the Invincibles are lighter, and if they're not, they definitely feel lighter, so if I'm trying to go a little faster in the rain, I'll use the Invincibles. But overall, I think this is a great shoe. It's very cushy. It's not super soft like the Invincibles are, but the foam, it's more of a firm, responsive, but you still don't feel the ground. You still get the cushioning you want and the protection you want. The upper is great. It's reinforced with rubber. So again, you can even go a little off-road with this, and the grip supports that. As you can see, at 80 miles, you can barely tell that I've used the shoe. The grip looks brand new. And so the outsole, it really could be used on a trail. Now we're on to my favorite high mileage shoe. I use this shoe for just about everything that I can. I still have to keep the rotation going. But like long runs, I'll even use the shoe like 2-3 times a week for like long runs and recovery runs. It's the ASICS Superblast 2. It is lighter than the other 2 offerings in this category that I have, but it's also a higher stack. So you don't feel like you're about to fall over. It's stable, has a wide base. But I love the high stack. It's protective, it's cushy. It's very responsive. It uses the same super foam that they use in the Metaspeed Paris series, the FF Turbo. And it's very protective. Turnover's great. Durability is amazing. I have over 250 miles in it. Outsole is still amazing. The foam still feels, I think it feels almost as good as new. I have a brand new pair waiting. I actually have 12 miles on these, but I've got a new pair waiting. I'm gonna be using these, and I'm gonna do a comparison when I hit 250 miles on this one. So stay tuned for that. But overall, I don't think you can go wrong with the ASICS Superblast 2. You can pick it up, you can keep it slow. You know, you can go up to threshold pace, or you go down to recovery pace in these. Recovery pace, it gets a little slappy, but it can still be used. All right, now we're on to the daily trainer section. I've got 3 shoes in this section as well. It's nice to keep a little rotation going. Do my least used to most used, least favorite to most favorite. The first 2 I'm gonna show you, it's really close. They're not my favorite for different reasons, so they're tied. So I'm just gonna start off with the New Balance Rebel V4. This is a good shoe, don't get me wrong. It's good. It uses a PIBA mix. It's 20% PIBA, 80% EVA, I believe. The outsole is good. I have like a little over 100 miles on it, and it is kind of starting to wear away, so that might be a concern. But I just feel like the foam is too soft for what it is, and it's too wide. If the shoe was a little more narrow, I feel like I could use it for more picking up the pace, but it's so wide it feels a little clunky. And the foam is too soft. Like it's not the softest foam ever, but I just feel bottoming out in it, so I don't really use these a lot. I use them for short runs, 3 to 5 miles, and if I want to pick up the pace a little bit. Then I've got my On Cloudmonster 1. These were actually gifted to me. If you could get these for like $100, I would buy them. I think this is good for $100. I've got about 80 miles in it too, I think, a little more. The durability is great. It's still holding up. It's firm, but it's not really super responsive, so it's a little boring. But I think I should be able to get at least 250 miles out of them. You know, when you have a boring ride, it's hard to kill it, because if it dies, it's just more boring. But there's absolutely nothing special about these. I don't wake up and go, yes, I'm gonna use my Cloudmonsters. Now, my favorite shoe in this section, which I'm actually getting 2 more shoes in soon, so stay tuned for reviews of those. But my favorite shoe in this section is going to be the Adidas Supernova Rise 2. Got a great deal on this. I think they're always on sale. Durability is great. I have like 15-20 miles in them, but you can barely tell I've used them. And this is the white pair, so they're holding up pretty good. The upper's very comfy. It's a great lockdown. You have to get it in a little bit, but once you find your fit, it's a great lockdown. Has a good little heel counter. Keeps my foot in. I don't feel unstable in these at all, but this is a Piba mix, so you feel the nice responsiveness, but it's a soft Piba mix. I don't know what they did to it, but it feels very plush and very soft. So you sink in and you go out. And this could really be used for a lot of stuff. I use these for my easy runs. I've gone sub 7 in these, but overall, I think this is a great shoe, especially it's always under $100. I think right now it's actually like $52. So go check out the Adidas website like right now. But overall, I think this is a great shoe. You've got full bottom coverage on the outsole. You have EVA energy rods. It's supposed to stabilize the ride. You don't feel them when you're running, so I feel great about that. I feel like I could use these for just about anything. I went out in rainy weather in these. There's some puddles around. I didn't slip, so it was great. Highly recommend this shoe. Now I'm on to my speed shoes. I'm gonna split this section up into 2 parts, trainers and racers. So my first shoe in this section is gonna be the Hoka Rocket X. I got these a long time ago. You definitely feel responsive in these. You feel like you could just about do anything. I wouldn't run like a half marathon in them. I would run a 5K in these, but it's just a boring shoe. It's a carbon fiber plate sandwiched in between like 30 millimeters of EVA foam. So not really a lot of impact protection, but it's a good shoe. The upper is great. I have a little over 100 miles in these, I think. I don't know if these are gonna make it to 200, but for what they are, it's good. Grip is good. I've used them in the rain. Not a bad shoe. You can get them for like 60 bucks now. These are pretty old, so hopefully you can get them for like 60 bucks. I would buy them again for 60 bucks. Now, my next 2 shoes, I have 3 shoes in the training section again. This just happens to happen. I do not count out my shoes, I promise. I don't mean to have 3 in each section. My next shoe is gonna be the On Cloudboom Zone. I do not recommend these for the price. These are $210. You could just buy like a racer for that. You could buy like a DV8 Nitro. I like these shoes. This is not a racing shoe. This is a very good interval shoe. So when I'm hitting mile repeats, this is the shoe I'm reaching for. It doesn't get in your way. There's not a huge rocker, but I like that. It just lets me do the work. Super responsive Helion HF foam. On's Piba foam is firm, so it's not like an Alphafly or like a Zoom X, but it's a really responsive foam. So I could race a 5K in these, and I think anybody could. If you just want, no plate, if you just want a natural feel, this is a great option. This has a shank in it, so that's a plastic shank. That's just for stability. It's not a propulsion shank, and so that's not like a plate. The upper is okay. It's baggy, like all On uppers are for some reason. You have like padding in the heel cup, but then you don't have it where your Achilles actually hits. The upper, it's a race upper, so you don't get much. The tongue is gusseted, so that helps, and there is cushioning, so at least you're not getting lace bite. But overall, love this shoe. If you can get it on sale, I would buy it right now. Great interval, rep, track, road, anything shoe. The only downside is the grip is not really great in wet weather. I slipped a lot, so no wet weather. But this is the Adizero Evo SL Lightstrike Pro, so it's Adidas Super Foam. You have a minimal upper. This has more padding in the upper, but it's still a minimal upper. This does not have a gusseted tongue, but very breathable. Just like the On, you have, light traction, 2 sides and the top. But this shoe feels so much different. It's so much bouncier. It is a little bit unstable, so you have to have definitely strong muscles if you need a stability shoe. This is not your shoe. But I love using this shoe for just about anything. Like if I'm going on a trip, I'm just gonna bring this shoe. You could do recovery days in it. It's a little too lively, so it might get in your way a little bit. But just like I feel like this is like a fast super blast. So I could use this for like mile repeats, shank in the midfoot, just like the other one. Not a propulsion plate. But overall, a great shoe. Love the foam, love the upper. Only downside is the tongue, but you get used to it eventually. And then the grip, you're not using this under, you're gonna slip. All right, now we're on to the race shoes. This is in no particular order. They're just different shoes for different things. But I'm just gonna go in order of most used. So first, I've got my Vaporfly 3s. These things are beat. I've got like 80 miles on them. Not a very durable shoe, but definitely fun. I still use it here and there. But this shoe, I use it if I want to go easy on the track. So if I'm doing like a double and a race and a meet, put it at the mile and 2 mile, I'm using these. Saves your legs. They're still super fast though. They're not that much slower than a Spike. You still feel more aggressive in a Spike, but these are great shoes. I've run 5Ks in these. You can run 10Ks in these. I mean, this is your do-it-all race shoe. Vaporfly 3, great shoe, great traction. Durability is meh. Upper is also meh. It's definitely a little too short in the midfoot, so your foot is gonna kind of go over a little bit. Even I have high arches. The tongue is offset, so that's a little annoying too, but overall, I love the shoe. I've got the Alphafly 3, so this is technically the same stack height, smaller drop, but this feels way bigger than the Vaporflies. It's heavier, but it's not much heavier, but the key is the Zoom pod you have in these. This is like a softer version of the Vaporfly, but also more protective. So like I'm using this for like 5Ks next season. I've done mile repeats in these, and I've done 4 mile tempo efforts at sub 6 paces. I feel like you could do just about anything in these. I've probably got like 25 miles in these, and I have the Kipchoge version, so the foam is dyed. So the foam dye is wearing away, but the actual durability, it's looking great. So I'm very excited to wear these. Upper is perfect. This is the perfect race upper. Now I've got spikes. This is the spike I use. It is the Air Zoom Victory 2. I use this because I'm a 1 mile guy. I go up to the 2 mile. I haven't used this to run 2 miles yet. I've run a mile in these. Again, I was gonna use this for track season, got injured. I've trained in them. They feel amazing for all kind of intervals and reps. I've even done 200s in these. These feel great. You've got a carbon fiber fly plate throughout. It goes like this. It kind of comes in a little bit, and then I think it ends somewhere around there. You definitely feel some of the foam in the back. You've got the Air Zoom pod. It's like a little mini Alphafly, so I love these. Upper is perfect. You can't go wrong with these. All right, so I have 2 shoes that didn't fit in really any of the categories. And the first one is this, my Brooks Hyperion Tempo. This is just a random beater. These are super old. I use these for cross training some days. And then I have my beater spikes. Now these are dirty, so I don't want to take them out for too long, but these are just Hoka Crescendos. And I literally just use these anywhere that I don't want to ruin my racing spikes. It's like rocky stuff and stuff like that. Good shoe, boring, but it's great for racing. Not in the way. You can go sockless in it, so it's a good shoe. All right, so that was all the gear that I used during training. There's some other stuff here and there, but that's all the main stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe.